Welcome you all, this is Virtual Pixel and I'm your host Anwin Sarai. In 1965, one of the co-founders of Intel, Gordon Murray, came out with a paper that observed the number of transistors in a semiconductor will double about every 2 years. This was later known as the Moore's Law. Even though this law was just an observation and projection based on the historic trend and not a physical or natural law, it stood its ground until 2012. By 2012, the saturation of transistors in an IC was reaching its limit, and the growth started to settle. Now, this is where we all come in. The era we all live in is not about to get outdated by a couple of years. The things we have access to today is the best technology we know can produce. Only some refinement is due. Apple's A12 Bionic processor that they used in the recently announced iPhone XS is manufactured on a 7nm process, which is close to what the current technology can offer. And we get to live through almost every major technological innovation. 11 years ago, when Apple first announced its iPhone, it was revolutionary for its time. The change it brought was beyond what anyone foresaw. Yet back then, all of us failed to predict the future that is today. When the Turing phone company first announced its phone with 8 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of internal storage, we all thought that was some extreme one-off product. Today, the budget king Poco F1 has 8 gigs of RAM. Both Samsung and Apple has 512 gigs phones in their portfolio. It is not about smartphones too. Everything related to technology is changing and taking its new phase. The last time Nikon changed its lens mount was back in 1959, until they changed it recently for their first full-frame mirrorless camera, or I should say cameras, Nikon Z7 and Z6. Followed by that, Canon announced their first full-frame mirrorless offerings, EOS R. The entire camera industry is finding new grounds lately. With Sony's widely popular offerings like A7 III, A7 R3 and Panasonic's GH5, professional filmmaking is becoming more and more accessible. Today's homemade videos have the same quality that you found on movies a decade ago, and that is saying a lot. Both video production and video editing has come a long way and can be done using basic equipments from your bedroom, which is kind of what I'm trying to do here. Plus, there is YouTube, and it is more popular than ever before. Let's consider my country, India, as an example. India has a large population and is expected to surpass the population of China in less than a decade. But India had a relatively less internet penetration number. Internet penetration number is nothing but the ratio between number of people using internet and the total population of that area. In June of 2018, India hit around 500 million active internet users. That clocked in as an internet penetration of 35%, which is not bad for a developing country such as India. YouTube is one of the many platforms that take advantage of such a large demography with internet access. The new users need content to consume, and as creators, we have the opportunity to get as much as content as possible into the platform. This kind of a platform was certainly beyond anyone foresaw back in the start of the century. Very much like camera industry is shifting gears towards the future, transportation industry is also shifting drastically. With the initiation of Tesla, followed by other car companies, finally the industry is switching focus to the renewable energy sources. All the new innovation in the electric car industry has made it capable to stand against the traditional petrol-driven vehicles. Plus, it has the added benefit of some ultra-cool tech like autopilot. We are living in an age where your car can drive on its own. Pretty cool. And we are going to be able to see the race between electric cells and hydrogen fuel cells to power the future of transportation needs. Just mind candy there. Very much like transportation industry, another area that is finding new life is space industry. Well, this one has seen better days. Clearly, the era of space advancement was at the midst of Cold War. And after USSR has fallen, there were not much going on. Until recently, the space exploration is grabbing headlines again. Companies like SpaceX has planned to populate Mars, and in 2014, India became the first country to reach Mars orbit on its first try. America is developing new rockets for their future space exploration programs called Space Launch System. That's a generic name if you ask me, but still. And SpaceX has the ability to produce reusable vertical landing rocket boosters in their Falcon line. There are more players in space race today than ever before. such as USA, ESA, China, Japan, India, Russia, and numerous private companies like Tesla, Airbus, and so on. The ride we got on this life is without a doubt at the front seat of every technological advancement. This is simply the best time to live in, technology-wise. Thanks a ton for watching. Subscribe to this channel to support me. Until I see you again.